All right, folks, a huge miss on that CPI report. Inflation is a lot harder than a lot of folks thought. My next guest says CPI, though, isn't really a good measure on inflation. So let's bring in a Chamber of Digital Commerce founder and CEO, Perianne. So you're saying the CPI doesn't necessarily reflect the real rate of inflation?
Absolutely not. I studied economics in school, and what they teach you is that inflation is an increase in the money supply. And so the rates of inflation, how the CPI is calculated, is based on prices of various goods that consumers buy in the market today. I've met with the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I have talked to the statisticians there, how they calculate these numbers, and they have so many tools to change.
You want to say manipulate.
You
want to say
manipulate the data in a way that they want. And the thing that's even more interesting is that the process of how they calculate the CPI is not transparent. So I used to work on Capitol Hill. I had the opportunity to talk to BLS when I was there. And even as a congressional staffer, I was not able to get any real information about how this information is calculated. So I believe the rate of inflation is actually much higher than what the CPI reports.
I think almost every American would agree with you. Honestly, almost every person who goes shopping and has been going to the supermarket for the last 20, 30 years, they understand what you're saying inherently. And, you know, what I understand, too, is like maybe when it comes to beef, for instance, the price of beef, you know, they'll take it might be a bigger, a more expensive cut of beef. They'll substitute it for a lower cut and still try to make the adjustments.
They do that. Yeah. They have done that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just it's ridiculous in so many ways. So we do know it's worse than what we see on the screen. And maybe that's what the market's reacting to. Let me ask you about your world that you're currently involved in with the cryptocurrency. You put out a piece, The Crypto Conundrum. Phenomenal piece. I would suggest everyone go to your website, the Chamber of Digital Commerce, and look at it. Explain to the audience what it is.
So the Crypto Conundrum is all about why won't the SEC approve a Bitcoin ETF? So for 10 years, over 16 companies, including some of the most well-respected names in financial services, have tried to bring a Bitcoin ETF to market. All attempts have been blocked. So in our report, we detail what exactly has happened over the past 10 years. And what we have found is that this industry has been held to a very different standard than other commodity ETFs.
Right.
So what these issuers have been told they have to do is different than anybody else. But the conundrum.
But why is it happening?
So, all right. So the conundrum really comes down to a Bitcoin ETF would allow all these retail investors, there's tens of millions of them in the United States today who already own cryptocurrency, would give them the ability to invest in a product that is regulated with the investor protections of our federal securities laws. So without that, they're having to invest in less familiar ways.
Right.
So this really has very little to do with the SEC's purported mandates, and we believe it has a lot more to do with political agendas, unfortunately.
I got 30 seconds. Along the lines of that, there was some scuttlebutt that Fidelity was ready to give access to retail investors. That would be a big move. Maybe that could even move the needle in D.C. on this ETF situation.
I think that's part of where we got the price action over the weekend. We saw about a 9% increase in the price of Bitcoin over the past week. So late last week, there were some rumors that they're looking to roll out some retail Bitcoin products as soon as this November. That has not been confirmed by Fidelity. They did put out a statement saying, we have not made this announcement yet, but we are absolutely looking to expand our offerings. So that is absolutely a positive development for the community if it is in fact true.
Perianne, I got to tell you, you know what, you do amazing work on behalf of the whole industry, and I'm glad you were able to come in and talk about it.
Thank you so much.
And I didn't know you knew so much about economics. I'm going to start booking you on some of these economics.
That's why I'm into Bitcoin.
There you go.
It's the answer to all these issues.
All right, talk to you again real soon.